This evening, the path is still clear regarding the coalition's intention to include opposition members in the government. Large turnout at politically motivated protest staged by GAWU at Skeldon in Berbice yesterday. City Hall gets busy with preparations as a stormy week of rainfall and thunderstorm is on the horizon. City magistrate defies DPP's order for a second time in a show of steadfastness. More technology and comfort guaranteed for 4 hinterland schools of Guyana with the provision of faster internet speeds. In the region, one minister looks at the unfortunate situation of another being searched at a Jamaica airport. And internationally, after 2 attacks on the Iranian parliament that resulted in the loss of lives, a possible third one was foiled.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Granville Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with Basil Bradshaw.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel as well as our website safetvguyana.com. Join us. Is the government serious about involving members of the opposition as part of the coalition administration? Andrew Weeks reports that Minister of State Joseph Harmon said the government welcomes anyone who is willing to advance the development of the country. But what is the view of the Prime Minister? Here is more.
When the question was put to Minister of State Joseph Harmon last Thursday's post-cabinet meeting briefing as to whether the coalition found anyone from the opposition that is suitable to be included into its cabinet, Harmon said,
First, let me deal with the first question invites a very high level of speculation about positions and so on, because it is not something that we have contemplated. We have said, yes, that we are against one party, and I can see that the coalition is a coalition of 6 parties already, coalition of 6 parties, and those 6 parties span the length and breadth of this country. Yes, at the elections in 2015, there was a certain percentage of the votes which we got, and since then we've actively campaigned. We have actually reached out to all communities in this country, and there are persons who have actually were probably on the other side that have started working with us at the level of the communities, and we welcome those persons who are prepared to work with the government in moving forward the development of this country.
You would remember that it was Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu who had stated that he wants to see a government of national unity as part of a review of the Commingsburg Accord. The Prime Minister made those statements on the Reflection in Government program on NCN last month. But Nagamutu has some strong words for the current opposition. Listen.
There was the other aspect that deals with the role of the opposition, in particular the PPP, in the process of governance. You may wish to revisit and see whether that is relevant at all. If one looks at the kind of obstructionist behavior of the opposition as presently led, I would say as presently led by Mr. Barth Gentile, you will see that it has a confrontational, obstructionist approach, and a lot of the what passes off as opposition is almost an invitation for ethnic conflicts.
The opposition, according to Minister Harmon, seems not to be pleased with the way the government is running the country. Reportedly, you would know a number of ministers and those who have worked in state agencies under the former government had been placed before the courts for allegedly misusing state funds and assets. Prime Minister Nagamutu feels that the PPC opposition is not ready for a government of national unity, much more to be included into the coalition cabinet. He also feels the Commingsburg Accord should not be a document written in stone.
You may wish to re-examine whether there is really a role for an opposition such as that in a government of national unity. It is desirable, but you also need to define the elements that would characterize an engagement towards national unity. And so, for me, the accord should not be immutable, should not be a document that cannot be changed or cannot be even amplified. In other words, you need to promote the good relationships that exist within the coalition to one that is even stronger, and one that would look beyond 5 years of the first term of the coalition.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thank you, Andrew. Yesterday, GAWU staged a protest in the PPP stronghold of Berbice, organizing thousands of Skeldon residents to march in opposition to the privatization of the estate. George Gonzalez has more.
On Tuesday, a march organized by the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union at Skeldon attracted over 2,000 estate workers and residents of the community. They gathered to protest the government's plan for the sugar industry, mainly the soon-coming privatization of the Skeldon Sugar Estate. The march was about 1.5 miles long. Those present also heard from a number of vendors of the Skeldon market. They complained of low and declining sales as of recent. Additionally, it was observed by some that many of the vendors at Skeldon Market closed shop in solidarity with the estate workers. It was also reported that some stores in Riverton also shut their doors during the demonstration. Several representatives from GAWU and local government officials also addressed the crowd. This has been George Gonzalez for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, George. Attorney General Basil Williams on Monday held a meeting with representatives of the Society Against Sexual Orientation, SASUD, and Guyana Trans United, GTU. According to the Attorney General, laws which discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity will be subject to review and will not necessarily depend on a referendum. According to SASUD, A.G. Williams pointed out that the referendum is just one proposed option, meaning it is not a cabinet decision or the government's official position on the issue. Managing Director of SASUD, Joel Simpson, stated that SASUD is totally against holding a referendum on any human rights issue. Nonetheless, the group remains willing to engage parliamentarians on the issue. SASUD emphasized that they are not currently advocating for the legalization of gay marriage, but rather legislative protection from discrimination against LGBT persons. Guyana is the only South American country that still has laws against same-sex intimacy. Coming up on Headline News after the break, City Hall prepares for the challenge of a stormy week of torrential rain and thunderstorm, and wanted bulletin issued by police for a Sophia murder accused.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town. Served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from. Also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
It's perhaps a show of staying steadfast to her belief and decision as Georgetown Magistrate Judy Latchman today refused the second order handed down by the DPP to commit murder-accused Regan Rodriguez, also known as Grey Boy, to stand trial in the High Court for the murder of political activist Courtney Crummy Wing. It was only yesterday Magistrate Latchman had refused the first order from Shalimar Ali Haq on the grounds that she had already discharged the accused twice for the lack of evidence. Special Prosecutor Nigel Hughes has said he finds the refusal by the magistrate both strange and unprecedented. Several legal minds and retired law enforcement officers appeared shocked by the magistrate's position. According to the Constitution, the Director of Public Prosecutions can direct any magistrate to commit a defendant to stand trial in the High Court. Rodriguez has not only always maintained his innocence in the murder of the political activist, but had also provided names of individuals whom he is positive were involved in the crime. Crummy Wing was shot dead in March 2015 as he used a loudhailer in the Diamond community to encourage residents to vote against the People's Progressive Party. The investigation into Courtney Crummy Wing's murder remains active. More rain and thunderstorm are expected throughout the 10 administrative regions as City Hall puts systems in place to ensure drains, canals, and other usually affected areas of the city are prepared for a wet and stormy week. Hear more from Andrew Weeks.
According to the Met Office, all regions can expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with light to moderate showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. Conditions are likely to improve over some coastal areas during the afternoon. Winds along the coast, northeasterly to southerly, will be between 4 ms and 8 ms. Winds can be expected before and during heavy downpours. Hinterland, northeasterly to easterly between 2 ms and 4 ms can expect strong winds before and during heavy downpours. Maximum temperatures can see the coast with 27 degrees to 31 degrees Celsius and the hinterland 26 to 32 degrees Celsius. Citizens are advised to dress in their rain gears during this time, and drivers are asked to look out for pedestrians on the roadways during the heavy downpours. Meanwhile, according to the city engineer, who is responsible for drainage, spoke with Headline News and gave us an update as to how the city of Georgetown is prepared to deal with flooding.
So we filled up our pumps with fuel and hydraulic oil, and we have men working around the clock that will monitor the water levels. When it's high, they will turn on the pump and run it until there is low tide. We have to take off the pump at the low tide and open the sluice doors. Main reason because we get to discharge a lot of water using the sluice doors.
Okay.
Right? So we're just praying that this rain would happen, that it wouldn't have too much water accumulated on the land. So that is
Pumps in all that you have that is running the city.
8 pumps. We have in all, that's including Lindendal and Kiki Pump Station.
What advice would you give to the citizens of Georgetown and its surroundings in terms of in preparation for this weather? What would you advise them to do?
All right. I would advise them to be calm. I know they might be uneasy with the rainfall and some water in the yard, but we're working seriously to get the water down.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks again, Andrew. Faster internet speeds have come to 4 hinterland secondary schools of Guyana. George Gonzalez now tells us that they are the latest additions to the e-government program.
4 secondary schools in Region 7, 8, and 9 are the latest recipients of the central government's e-government program. The program, which began in 2016, is designed to interconnect government ministries and other agencies. Presidential advisor for e-government, Floyd Levi, describes the progress thus far.
Have so far connected the high school in Lethem at St. Ignatius, at Sand Creek, at Paramakotoy, at Warramadong, and we're actually working on the one at Anai, at Bina Hill there. So those, I would like to call them dormitory high schools, almost like a boarding school in the hinterland, where students from the surrounding region would actually go for high schooling. We've actually connected them in the same way that we've connected the schools.
The Minister of Public Telecommunications, Catherine Hughes, explained that providing manual services can be tedious and expensive, which can be changed with the use of technology. Minister Hughes believes that Guyana will be transformed by the effective usage of such technology that translates to improved services for all.
Communities. We feel that the technology, if used correctly, if used in the area of telemedicine, if used for online learning, for education, as we saw here today, then we really believe that is how we can start to transform Guyana.
The government's e-government program has seen 86 secondary schools, 3 regional education officers, 3 Cyril Potter College of Education branches, 2 University of Guyana campuses, and 6 technical and vocational institutions equipped with reliable, high-speed access to educational content in their computer laboratories, in addition to advancing the effectiveness of law enforcement. This has been George Gonzalez for Channel 2 Headline News.
Good work, George. The police have issued a wanted bulletin for Troy Tasho, also known as 19. Tasho is wanted for questioning in relation to the murder of Roy Beckles, which occurred on Monday at B Field, Sophia. The wanted man is 42 years old, of mixed race origin. His last known addresses were B Fields Reserve, Sophia, East Coast Demerara, and Back Circle, East Rhineveld. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Troy Tasho, also known as 19, is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 229-2289, 229-2019, 222-2232, 911, or the nearest police station. All information will be treated with strictest confidence. Still ahead, the search of a minister at the Jamaica airport and the deadly attacks on the Iranian parliament.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Now opened, the new thriving Chinese restaurant Providence location. Perfect for large events, exquisite menus featuring traditional Korean, Chinese and Western cuisine, elegant grand dining room and seats for over 500 persons. Also additional seating on the upper flat, luxurious VIP rooms and an elevator for your comfort. The new thriving Chinese restaurant second location above Massey Supermarket, Amazonian Mall, Providence. For reservation call 623-4097 or 657-9067.
In news from the region now, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Dennis Moses says he has done extensive fact-finding about the situation which led to Minister in the Office of Prime Minister Ayanna Webster Roy being searched at the Jamaica airport. Hear more in this report.
Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Dennis Moses says he has done extensive fact-finding about the situation which led to Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Ayanna Webster Roy, being searched in a Jamaica airport.
I would have also consulted with our High Commissioner to Jamaica, who's based in Kingston, Jamaica, all in an attempt to secure as much information, factual information as possible, so as to treat the matter befitting the nature of the incident.
Opposition Senator Wade Mark had asked if any measure would be put in place to protect holders of a Trinidad and Tobago diplomatic passport from being subjected to such a scenario. Minister Moses says he has since shared words with his Jamaican counterpart about the matter.
In a very forceful manner, made known to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Jamaica our complaints, and I countered in a robust fashion whatever counter arguments would have been presented.
And internationally, twin attacks on the Iranian parliament and Ayatollah Khomeini's mausoleum in the capital, Tehran, have killed at least 12 people and injured many more. The assault on the parliament appears to be over after hours of intermittent gunfire there. A suicide bomber detonated a device at the mausoleum. Iranian officials say they managed to foil a third attack. The Islamic State group, IS, has claimed it carried out the attacks, which would be a first in Iran.
This was the scene at Iran's parliament this morning. Witnesses said 4 or 5 gunmen, some dressed as women, burst into the building armed with AK-47 rifles and grenades and rampaged through the corridors. Security forces quickly surrounded the parliament and locked down the area in central Tehran. Inside, there were reports of hostages being taken amid a standoff between the attackers and police. Some gunmen fired out of the windows, and Iran's deputy interior minister said one attacker had set off an explosive vest. The group that calls itself Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attack and released this video, reportedly from inside the parliament, with one gunman shouting, "Do you think we're going anywhere? We're not. We're staying forever, God willing." Incredibly, as the attack continued, some MPs appeared to carry on with their routine parliamentary business, as other people rushed to escape the building by whatever means they could. Emergency services rushed to the scene, and local media reported a number of people killed, possibly as many as 12, and many more wounded in the attack. At a nearby hospital, Iran's health minister visited some of those who'd been hurt. This man said he'd been shot from a long distance by men with big machine guns. "I was shot in the leg," he said, "but they shot others in the head and the chest." About half an hour later, several miles to the south, this. A second attack on the shrine of Ayatollah Khomeini. At least one of the attackers shot several people before detonating a suicide bomb. As police rushed to the scene, there were reports that at least one person, a gardener, had been killed and many others wounded. A state of emergency was declared across Iran, as officials said a third attack had been thwarted. Iranian-backed forces are fighting so-called Islamic State across Iraq and Syria, but IS attacks like this in Iran are very unusual, and there could be few more symbolic targets than Iran's parliament and the mausoleum of its founder. James Landau, BBC News.
And that's Channel 2's headline news for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find the Channel 2 headline news on Facebook, YouTube, and SafeGuyana.com. You can also tune in at 6:30 tomorrow morning for a rebroadcast. Until then, I'm Basil Bradshaw, signing off from this newscast.